Geojit is proud to launch its alternative investment fund, Geojit Yield Plus, a Cat 3 AIF. This fund is an absolute return fund that deploys market-neutral strategies. This reflects Geojit's commitment to innovation in the investment space. We are joined by Mr. Dhiraj Tanwar, who is the fund manager of this Cat 3 AIF. Dhiraj brings with him over 18 years of experience in the financial industry. He has deep expertise in equity derivatives and risk management. In this conversation, he'll share his insights about Geojit Yield Plus, its strategy, and what the investors can expect. A warm welcome to Mr. Dhiraj.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, Chandni.
To start with, Mr. Dhiraj, can you brief us about alternative investments? What is AIF and how is the industry evolving?
AIF stands for Alternative Investment Funds. It's a SEBI-regulated product and it is designed for HNIs, ultra HNIs, the big family offices and big corporate houses. AIF gives you access to unique opportunities in the public market as well as in the private market. It gives you access and comprises asset classes like real assets and the financial asset. Combination of these comes out with unique strategies in the AIF space, right? The objective of this AIF space is generating a superior risk-adjusted return over the long-term horizon, right? And AIF industry is bifurcated into three parts. There are three categories into AIF industry. Category 1, Category 2, which is predominantly a close-ended schemes, and Category 3, which can be a open-ended as well as a close-ended scheme. When we talk about Category 1 and a Category 2, where the unique opportunities like funding a startup, angel investing, PE fund, private equity, private credits, so infra projects, real estate projects, funding road building contracts. So this all comprises under the Category 1 and a Category 2 AIFs. When it comes to Category 3 is specifically any strategy which is related to secondary market, derivatives market, equity markets, commodity markets, commodity derivatives, currency derivatives, debt market, unlisted space, that comprises in the Category 3 space. Since AIF is able to deliver superior risk-adjusted returns, we have seen of late lot of momentum into the AIF space. Currently, the AIF industry, the AUM is about 13.5 lakh crore, and which is garnered in the last 6 to 7 years time frame. So that's how the AIF industry is evolving in the entire Indian market space.
Wow, that's a phenomenal growth that the industry has witnessed over the last decade. Dhiraj, can you tell us more about Geojit Yield Plus?
Sure, Chandni. So Geojit Yield Plus is a maiden and a flagship product from Geojit Alternate. It's a Cat 3 absolute return AIF, okay, wherein the objective is to generate consistent positive absolute return while maintaining the low risk profile. The endeavor here is to generate real positive returns using diverse derivative strategies irrespective of the market condition, market agnostic strategy, wherein we will be using derivative strategies in the upward as well as on the downward movement of the market, keeping the risk profile very low and generate consistent positive returns.
So Dhiraj, as you spoke about the investment strategy, I'd like to ask, how is Geojit Yield Plus, bridging the gap? What is the opportunity that's there in the market that Geojit Yield Plus is trying to address?
Yes, Chandni, it's a very good question. Currently, if you look at the investment streams that available in the market, if you look at the debt space, which is a conservative stream of investment, right, the attractiveness is diminishing majorly because of two reasons. One, the change in the taxation, and a couple of years back there was a change in the indexation benefit as well as the long-term capital gain on the debt mutual fund has been changed. So the diminishing attractiveness of the debt mutual fund, that is one. Number two, HNIs, ultra HNIs, they are more concerned about generating real positive returns. So if you look at this debt space, the conservative space of investment, the real returns are either flat or marginally positive, or maybe negative in some cases. So that's the major gap that we have identified as an organization, and we want to try and fill that gap using Geojit Yield Plus.
Dhiraj, can you also throw some light on the investment strategy for Geojit Yield Plus?
Chandni, the fund shall invest in equity derivative instrument using quantitative, statistical and technical analysis to identify different opportunities in the market. The fund shall use all these strategies, investment strategies, to meet the risk and the returns objective of the fund. The fund aims to maintain low risk profile with managed risk and flexibility to adjust the risk exposure in the market. Fund will take both long and short positions to generate returns using all the derivative strategies, resulting into a low risk profile and low volatility in the overall strategy. The fund will ensure a market agnostic approach while initiating the strategies, wherein the fund will not have any directional bets or will not be dependent on the movement of the market, whether the market is moving northwards or the southwards. The fund will diversify into wide array of different uncorrelated strategies to manage and build the natural hedge in the overall portfolio of the strategies.
Dhiraj, as you mentioned that this fund will have a low risk profile, can you throw some light on this?
Chani, since our proposition is generating an absolute positive return on a quarter-on-quarter basis and keeping the risk profile low, so the risk mitigation becomes a core and the key of the strategy, right? While maintaining the portfolio, the core focus will be on keeping a systematic exposure of a long and a short to reduce the volatility in the overall portfolio, diversifying into different diverse strategies, uncorrelated strategies, which build a natural hedge in the entire portfolio. And this will ensure that the low drawdown of the fund or the standard deviation of the fund will remain low. So risk mitigation is the core of the strategy, and our mantra in the overall strategy is high on safety and low on risk. This is to ensure the standard deviation and the drawdown of the fund remains low.
Dhiraj, can you also tell us who is this fund suitable for? Like what kind of investors would benefit from investing in this product?
Good question, Chandni. So investors who are seeking for the diversification and taking the benefit of the diversification which complement their existing portfolio, right? So obviously an investor already has a different asset classes in his portfolio and he wants to diversify. So this is a product which will give him a diversification as far as the entire portfolio is concerned. Investor who is looking for low correlation to the traditional asset classes, right? So somebody who is looking for no correlation with the equity market and want to hold some asset classes which is non-correlated to traditional asset classes, those are the investors. It will be suitable for them. Investors who are looking for consistent positive returns in their portfolio irrespective of the market conditions, whether markets are positive or negative, they want to maintain the low volatility in their entire portfolio, and they are okay to keep a low volatility on their capital deployed, right? Investor with a medium term horizon who has ability to withstand to the short term volatility in the market, or maybe a clients with a moderate risk tolerance is what will be the ideal investor for this product.
Dhiraj, we spoke about the alternative investments, particularly the Geojit Yield Plus, its features, risk management, suitability. So I have one final question. Why should investors look at Geojit Yield Plus?
Why Geojit Yield Plus? Chandni, the objective of the fund is to generate absolute positive returns quarter on quarter basis, right? So an investor who are suffering from a short-term fluctuations in the market, short-term volatility in the market, so this will fit exactly in their existing portfolio, this will work as a complement to their existing portfolio rather than competing into their portfolio, right? So the proposition that enables the customer to absorb the short-term volatility in the market. Since the goalpost of the strategy is clearly defined, we have to generate absolute positive return post expenses and post taxes, keeping the risk parameters low, right? So this will ensure that the fund generates real positive returns for the investors, and this will address the gap, this will address the problem that we initially discussed.
And this brings us to the end of this conversation where Dhiraj shared his insights about Geojit Yield Plus. Thank you, Dhiraj, for taking out time and joining us here today for this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chandni. Thank you for having me here.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.